even his fans are struggling to excuse, I'm fighting him today, I'm fighting him tomorrow. No, I'm not fighting him. His fans are starting to struggle with the excuses.
Pro boxing fans here at your call for the weigh-in of Sorry, that's just Spence Oliver interrupting, but what can you do? Johnny Nelson here in London, your call, weigh-in is done. Frazer Clarke versus Mariusz Wach. Obviously, circumstances have led to Frazer being pushed up to main event. First of all, before we talk about the card, how are you? You're looking very summery.
And slim, I want you to say slim. I've lost some weight, man. I'm trimming down, so I'm on it, but I'm good. And summer suits me. I just got a little darker right now. Works me, all right.
Let's talk about this card, man, quickly. Yeah, Frazer Clarke, obviously been through a rough couple of months here. I spoke to him, he said, listen, it wasn't great, it wasn't ideal, but we're here. We're at the situation, finding a good opponent in his eyes and boxer's eyes. What do you make of Mariusz Wach and the opponent that they pushed for him?
I think actually, on paper, this is a better opponent for Frazer Clarke. And yes, people are going to be out there saying, "Shut up, Nelson." Really, you look at Mariusz's record, the amount of fights he's had. So the knowledge that he has, the experience he's had, surely outweighs Fabio. And I'm quite sure the ring IQ that he's been involved with the fighters he's fought. This is a good fight for Frazer Clarke. Actually, on paper, I think it's probably could be harder than the Wardley fight. So, but I think Frazer's been hurt by the things that have been said for why the fight fell through. And sometimes, you've got to lose a battle to win a war. And so in regards to what's happened with that fight not happening, Frazer's got to get over that. Because in this program, a lot of things are said and done, and that affect you mentally more than anything else. So. He's got to get over it now, take responsibility. He's top in the middle, first 10-rounder. If you want experience at 10-rounder level, this is it. And Wach's the perfect opponent.
When do you expect him to push for that British title? Obviously, he wants to have a Fabio Wardley fight. Boxer saying we're going to get it done. Eddie Hearn's got different plans, wants to maybe get the Adelaide fight done.
Don't matter, it will happen. It will happen. And even if it's not for the British title and Wardley decides to give it a move on, these two fighters will cross paths. This has become personal for Frazer. And I'm not saying personally as if to say, there's something about Wardley's character that he doesn't like, but the things that were said, the thing that represent him as a fighter that's had so much experience as an amateur, now a pro, that hurt him. So I believe their paths will cross at some point. I don't know what will be on the line. So whatever plans Eddie has got, it makes no difference. These two will fight each other at some point.
Johnny, when you were a fighter, did you carry many injuries? I speak to Adam yesterday, obviously going through the problem with the left hand. It's been twice now he's had a problem with it. Is this something that you've gone through? If so, what does a fighter go through when they suffer setbacks like this?
I wasn't a banger. Most bangers have problems with their hands, and that's who he is. And that's how it is, and that's the risk to take. So that, unfortunately, that's proceeds of crime, man. You're going to hurt your hands when you can bang like that, and it's always going to happen, and it will happen again. Unfortunate for him, it's happened around the time when he's got a fight coming up. I know many bangers. Nas had bad hands. His hands are terrible. If you can punch, that's par for the course. Nigel Benn, speak to them all. So no, I didn't get many injuries because I wasn't a banger. I was a boxer, and lived in the gym. So it's Azim's letdown of not being able to walk. He is absolutely gutted and frustrated. But for his brother, it's a chance now for more attention to be on his brother and not just be on the undercard or underneath or the also ran, the spare of his brother. So for Hassan, he's got a chance to go and say, look at me, I'm developed, I'm getting through.
Cool. Do you want to move away and talk about boxing in general? I can remember there was a card in Coventry. I was interviewing you, I asked you about Spence Crawford, and you said, listen, it's done. We had a few setbacks along the way, but we're finally there, Johnny. Finally there.
I know things, man. I know things.
But come, let's talk about that. They've had two press conferences, one in LA, yesterday in New York. Just talk to me about what you're seeing. What do you get?
I'm back and flipping and flopping, man, because I've said Crawford. And I'm thinking, you know what? I'm leaning towards Spence now. This is such an even fight. It's about time. About time, and unfortunately, politics always kills our game. And Al Heyman's, you just said, no, all right, now it's time. Enough of the foolishness. This fight's happening, and that's because of Al Heyman. Doesn't matter what anybody says. Anybody who tries to take credit for it, it's down to Al Heyman. and I'm just glad the fight's happening.
What happens in that fight? I know you're going back and forth, but Errol Spence was saying in the press conference, this is throwback, man. If you want to fight from the 70s, the 80s, Hagler Hearns, this is what you're going to get for this fight.
Again, and this reminds me of, not Hagler Hearns, it reminds me of Sugar Ray Leonard and Thomas Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard and Wilfred Benitez. This is what, because you've got two skilled fighters, not fighters, one can bang and one's durable. You've got two skilled fighters that can punch, that can box, excellent boxing IQ, that can box, that can bang. So now when you've got that, like we did with Sugar Ray Leonard against Wilfred Benitez, right? We did against Sugar Ray Leonard against Tommy Hearns. You're going to have skill. If you love your boxing, you know your boxing, you know for a fact, that is a fight for the purists. And if it does what it says on the can, I'm telling you, this is going to be one of those modern day fights where you think, oh my God, I would definitely want to see that again. And it's going to take something out of both fighters.
We're seeing a lot of good fights getting made at the lower divisions. Not lower, I mean like welterweight, lightweight, going down. Heavyweights are still, negotiating. But the question is a temptation of that Saudi money too big for them to be taking fights and negotiating in the UK when they can wait for Saudi money?
You know what, the prize fighters, they want to go where the dough is. None of the fighters have been in action, and since that Saudi conversation has been had, and so that Saudi money, you just think to yourself, well, I could wait for that Saudi money or have 4 fights that's going to make up that Saudi money, and a loss between now and then will make that Saudi money disappear. I understand if you're a fighter, you're in that position, because when this fight game's over, all these people that are going crazy saying you should have done this, you should have done that, they're gone. Yeah. So fighters are concreting their future. That's what they're doing. That's how they're rolling. So I get it, I understand it, and that's part of the game. You know, but there's no concrete, right, this is what's happening, that's when it's going to happen. We don't know who's in. Well, we think we know who's in, but nothing's written down in stone. But we've got to wait and see.
AJ Wilder is the fight that looks like it could get made. Eddie Hearn's talking about offers coming in from Saudi. Saudi are interested in that fight. What do you make of that fight in regards to where AJ is and where Wilder is in regards to their career?
All right, this is going to get him going. I think AJ, from his last performance, if he boxes Wilder beats him. And that's I've got to say that. And AJ, I'm a massive supporter of AJ, and I'll always support him left, right and centre. But you've got to say what you see and say how it is. And I think in against Wilder now, I think AJ needs to make some massive adjustments to prove me wrong. To prove probably what a lot of people are thinking but not saying, for whatever reason, whatever agenda they've got. It's a great fight, and AJ has the ability to do it, but going on his last performance, last 2 out of 3 performances, I say Wilder. You know, that's a fight that Wilder's got the punch power to jump on him. AJ can't fight this guy second guessing, thinking should I, shouldn't I. He's got to see it, boom, straight in, because if he waits a second or two too long, Wilder is that fighter that, you know, I just need 1 split second. So it's a great fight. It's a great fight, and to get people's attention. Of course, does it outshine the fight that we'd love to see AJ against Tyson Fury? No, it doesn't. But I've given up hope on that, because I think Tyson Fury's had about 7 opponents in the last 3 weeks. So that's an exaggeration, but what I'm saying is I'm kind of losing faith in that. And I think both sides, there's no trust there.
Obviously, talking about AJ, I think we're moving quite far forward. He's got a Dillian Whyte fight with a rematch that a lot of people are saying is going to be a good fight for AJ and Dillian at the time. But talking about what you're saying, do you feel like at this point of Tyson Fury's career that he is prizing himself out of fights? Eddie Hearn saying, listen, I've heard on TalkSport that saying that possibly he might be prizing himself out of fights. Do you feel that could be the case?
Man, of course he is. And the thing is, Tyson Fury today he wants to box, tomorrow he doesn't. Tyson Fury is in a position where thinks he's in a position where people need him more than he needs them. He ain't. Boxing was here before him, and boxing will be here after he's gone. And sometimes you've got to get your head out your ass and think, oh, I've got to get on with some action here. Because even his fans are struggling to excuse, I'm fighting him today, I'm fighting him tomorrow. No, I'm not fighting him. His fans are starting to struggle with the excuses. So the Tyson Fury's biggest problem is Tyson Fury. And even Bob Arum down the line is saying, look, we don't even know what Tyson Fury wants to do. As he thinks he's in a luxurious position where he can pick and choose. The world will move on. Fighters will carry on fighting everybody else. And he'll be just that guy shouting in the background, I'm going to fight you today. Oh, no, I'm going to fight you tomorrow. That's a Tyson Fury problem. So he's got to decide what he's doing, when he's doing it. And he's got to be careful. It's like the boy that cried wolf. You know, it's going to get to the point where the public think, whatever. You know, he'll say something and people are going to listen because he's funny, he's sharp, he's got character. He's showed what he can do. But it's going to get to the point when they think, yeah, whatever. You know, that's unfortunate for him.
Fancy for myself, on this theme of the Saudis, it looks like Canelo and Mukabu could happen. Skills challenge or saying, listen, we're trying to make that fight. Would it be surprising to you if the next signing for skills challenge would be someone like a Canelo, would be someone like a Wilder?
Wilder, no, I think that's too much of a mountain to climb. I think going up to heavyweight, he's got to be careful what kind of heavyweights he gets.
I mean, for skills challenge to sign someone like a Wilder, a Canelo.
No, I thought you meant to fight each other. Not at all. Where the dough is, if the dough's there, none of these fighters will do it. I don't know. I suppose it's like footballers. You know, you'll get footballers from opposite teams, and the fans that supporting one team will hate all the ballers from the other team. But these ballers, they'll be mates. And so this is business. These fighters are going to think, I'm going to go where the business is. You know, you're going to watch me either way or not. It doesn't matter what you think of my moral ethics are. I'm going to go where the dough is. So you can pressure me as much as you want.
That is an hour-long.
Just a final one. Sorry, Spencer. 1 second, mate. He's put me off. But final one. Daniel Jabbar, Usyk. Do you feel like Daniel Jabbar's got a chance in that fight?
No, I don't. I think Daniel Dubois a good fighter. I think there's still a lot more moulding for Daniel Dubois. What we're seeing is confidence, self-belief. There's still a jigsaw puzzle missing from that what you need to be a heavyweight boxing at a certain level. And any fighter, heavyweight fighter worth his salt, getting in with Daniel Dubois knows you've got to put the pressure on him to break his heart because we've seen it. We've seen he's got that in him. But he's got fight in him. He's got punch in him. But straight answer to a straight question, no, I don't. I think Usyk turns him over.
Cool, Johnny. I just had Spence Oliver abuse me just then. I know he wants to do a piece with you, and he was next in line, so I'm going to let you go and do your thing. Thank you very much for talking to us, and we'll speak to you soon, mate. Thank you very much.
Anytime.